Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space, and let's get right into it today. One take and uncut. I apologize about any background noise, and let's get into this information. So I wanted to address some FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There's a lot of drama occurring, of course, not only in the financial markets globally, but we're talking about cryptocurrencies specifically. People get down when their crypto asset is down in price by, 70%, 90%, or just simply trending sideways, and they're kind of ignoring the fundamentals and what is truly being built here today. So today I want to address some FUD, kind of reassure you guys, but I encourage you to do your own research, but just ensure that I'm not worried one bit. Again, YouTube is a side hobby for me. I want to remain to be transparent with all of you. And sorry if I kind of coughed during this video. I'm trying to hold it in while I'm drinking some water. But anyways, if we're ready to address this. So basically, guys, I was going back and forth with some Bitcoin advocates of the Lightning Network yesterday. And it's really, really funny. The same narrative replays time and time again. They're only focused on what Ripple's doing with on-demand liquidity, formerly XRP, part of the X series. And I just wanted to, emphasize our Bitcoin maxis or anybody, and I'm for all crypto for that matter, just to be honest, but I may be more bullish on other projects than others, especially those that are working with regulators. But again, are they really aware that the XRP ecosystem is truly being built by other players besides Ripple? Granted, Ripple does fund some of the building. There's so many use cases that go way beyond just on-demand liquidity, guys. Way bigger things at play here on a global financial level. Again, of course, there's decentralized finance and derivatives. There's the securities market, of course, 7 trillion securitized investments, which I've addressed in multiple videos. With decentralized finance, we can even do collateralized loans. And that's not only on XRP, that's on many projects like, even Ethereum and Bitcoin. But again, even walled gardens and intra networks, JPM Coin, even Overledger with their cryptocurrency QNT or Quant. I'm a fan of Quant Network. I mean, as you guys know, I've been preaching about this for well over a year. I have videos on Quant. I'm a fan, but I do not think that every single crypto that solves a purpose is a threat to another. This is the internet of value. They're solving real problems, and I want these problems to be solved. I want financial inclusion. Again, not everything is a threat to another. Not everything's an XRP killer, and XRP does not kill everything else. There's multiple use cases and payment rails going on. Again, keep in mind, the end game. We have Finastra as a RippleNet partner. They can even white label their own technology. Please look into ACI worldwide. We're talking $14 trillion of transactions daily. Look at the Earthport Visa acquisition of quotes. Visa saying they wanted to team up with Ripple to directly attack and kind of replace and complement the SWIFT network. We have Finastra with the top 48 of 50 banks. They are integrated with RippleNet. RippleNet integrated into their payment platform, PayPlus. PayPlus is integrated with, guess what? A lot of the big players such as CLS, Continuous Link Settlement, that does 50% plus of all Forex trades today, guys. This is trillions of dollars per day. And again, with the DTCC, which people, talk about even more, there's a lot of hype surrounding it. I just want to show you that the DTCC has said they plan to use a digital asset. I'm not saying that's XRP. I'm showing you that everything is becoming tokenized. MoneyGram, ODL, awesome. I'm seeing new corridors develop. It's not a big deal to me, though. It's a great, maybe not necessarily into price right away, but indirectly it will be. It's a great way to develop more liquidity and depth in those order books, as I've said. Higher trades, but essentially low value transactions. But this is still good and has a positive effect on the market as a whole for adoption. I want liquidity, which is going to open up interest for not only speculators, traders, retail investors like you and I, but true institutional players. And yes, this will drive up price. Right, central bank digital currencies, we can see the tokenization of assets, of course, metals, equities, you name it, all on the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger is, again, another component. XRP is the native digital asset, but there's so much going on in terms of development and interoperability. We've seen in recent videos, I've shown, even Mickey B. Fresh has shown some great research showing, central banks of the world, even Bank of England and, Mark Carney directly quoting that Ripple is one of their favorite products, in tandem, again, with the interledger protocol that some of these biggest groups, even customers of R3, the European Central Bank, Bank of Japan, have experimented with the interledger protocol. And again, this was built in tandem with all of this. There are bigger things at play. There are plenty of NDAs. We can speculate as much as you want, but just know we are early and it is a waiting game. I potentially do hope to see something by end of year, but I don't want to give price predictions. There's no price limit and there's no price prediction. I just believe it is significantly in orders of magnitudes higher than the current price, especially anything, sub $1, sub $10 is laughable to me. I think a lot of people, to be frank, are going to sell too early, and there's going to be plenty of other assets that go up too. So again, I diversify, but I'm just most bullish with XRP. Interledger protocol, we can talk about streaming of micropayments with Coil. We can talk about additional projects building and utilizing XRP's inherent decentralized exchange and those capabilities and features of auto bridging. We can talk about Spring and the $500 million investment backing by Ripple to basically incentivize more development in the gaming ecosystem. Again, music, art, rental properties, rentals, etc. The things about this is these are going to open up new markets and revenue streams for all players. Bottom line, as I say, financial inclusion, right? Even R3, again, an absolute behemoth. We'll talk about them in a second. Syndicated lending, settlements. Settlements is going to be the name of the game. All this talk about XRP being a world reserve currency. Yes, but not the way you guys think. What we're talking about is instead of holding multiple currencies or 180 currencies or a basket of 13 currencies, and it's, billions of dollars or millions of dollars pre-funded around the globe, you can just simply hold a smaller basket of XRP that can be used as any of those currencies and settled within seconds or minutes rather than 2 to 6 days. This is where that tied up money today, anywhere from 2 to 5 to even as high as 27 trillion, I've seen quoted by Miguel Valles, that is trapped around the globe. All right, now I know I've repeated myself. Now, before we get into the information, this is just, one of those big rants. I see a lot of people freaking out today. They see Miguel Valles, former CME executive, changed his LinkedIn page saying he's leaving Ripple, and everybody freaked. Now keep in mind, we've had a bunch of high-ranking officials, executives, and managers leave Ripple in the last few months, and we'll go over them. But are you guys missing who is also joining the team and where they are going? This is all strategy. This is all very strategic, in my opinion. And please do your own research. This could be a little confirmation bias, but in my opinion, again, Miguel Valles, former CME Group executive, leaves. He was literally head of XRP markets. Very, very fascinating. Talked about, pre-allocation theory before, people started really discussing it in depth and detail. Talked about ILP and XRP specifically used by Bank of England, things of that nature. RippleNet is already connected to a lot of people, but we're looking for XRP utility to drive that liquidity up. All right. Even Mr. Dilip Rao, again, Ripple's global head of innovation, he retired later last year. Okay. Well, people are allowed to retire and go into different positions. Ryan Zagone, gone, but back in the day, he's had connections and worked for Deloitte. He was on the steering committee for the Federal Reserve's Faster Payments Task Force up until 2017. Then he was head of research and director of regulatory relations. Direct contacts with the Federal Reserve. We know Ripple's specifically met with the Trump administration. And I think we're just looking at who's leaving. Even Kahina Van Dyke, she had a past as well, and she was the SVP of Business and Corporate Development for Ripple, and now she left to be global head of digital channels and client data analytics for Standard Chartered Bank. Guys, this is one of the first investors of Ripple and a RippleNet partner. How is this FUD or bad news? I just don't understand what we're seeing here. Again, we're talking about these people leaving, but are we forgetting about who came on board? We have Craig Phillips joining the board of directors for Ripple. This gentleman has 35 years experience, formerly at BlackRock, one of the biggest asset managers in the game, and also Morgan Stanley. Then we also have Ben Lawsky, who joins the Ripple board, the man who spearheaded the regulatory framework for the BitLicense itself. I just cannot emphasize that, and I feel like the negativity spreads better in the news than actual facts. It's just truthful. Even Evan Schwartz, when he was leaving, it just seems like we don't entertain the good things. What about Marjan Delatine, coming from Swift, working on Swift GPI, didn't see a future with Swift, came to work for Ripple. She was like head of sales for Swift GPI product, and now she's coming to work with Ripple. Things like that. This is strategic. This is a game of chess, not checkers. Evan Schwartz has said, great 6.5 years with Ripple, thanks to everyone that helped me. But he says, again, he's the co-founder of the Interledger protocol. This was built with XRP in the community, and he's still gonna, he's gonna step away from active development on Interledger, but he says he's still going to stay involved with the Interledger community and the boards of Coil and the Interledger Foundation. These are the things I pay attention to. Now, this picture of this gentleman, this is Chris Dixon. He basically spearheads and leads one of the crypto funds by one of the biggest investors in the world, Andreessen Horowitz. All right, huge group. And again, this crypto fund is early, nascent. This gentleman was one of the first investors in the company Ripple, even Coinbase. This is a really cool article. But before I get into that, I'm going to kind of go over and smash additional concerns for a lot of people. So, right here, guys, I know this R3, Ripple lawsuit is old news, as we can see here just on payments.com, talking about this whole dispute over XRP. I'm not going to repeat myself, so please just, look into this information if you're a newcomer. But essentially, guys, we can see right here. All right, they finally, have reached a settlement of outstanding litigation between the parties, and they have tight-lipped on exact details of the settlement. However, noting that the terms of the agreement are confidential. Notice that David Rutter, CEO of R3, he cannot, say the name Ripple. He has NDAs as well. And basically, in 2016 of September, R3 was promised the right to buy up to 5 billion XRP at a discount up until September 2019. There were some feuds between the companies and organizations, and, this is why this lawsuit occurred. Now, the question is, okay, they, have exact details on the settlements, and I'd imagine, they still got some XRP for the deal. Did they only get, half this amount at that price? Did they still end up getting 5 billion XRP total? Was it more expensive? Did they only have 1 billion XRP, or did they settle for equity in the company? Things of that nature. Just to be completely, this should be obvious, Ripple is much more funded than R3. So anything can happen. I'll let you guys consider whether, those possibilities, whether Ripple disappears someday, whether they do a public IPO, private IPO, get acquired by somebody. There's so many things. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly how it's going down. But again, I am still bullish in the XRP ecosystem. So remember, SBI, they own both groups. Board members, they own 10%. I mean, just massive information here. And CEO of SBI, which is basically a behemoth in Japan, this huge banking consortium, is pushing R3 to utilize XRP for high-value transactions, right? And then Ripple for the low-value transactions with on-demand liquidity, developing the liquidity in the order books, basically an ecosystem of buyers and sellers at various price points. And then once we have the bigger transactions, yes, this will hypothetically dramatically move price up. We know David Schwartz has given different, estimates for the cross-border market. Of course, there's various multiplier effects based on holding, anywhere from $2 to $120. But I just want to say that I just named in the beginning of this video like a million use cases beyond just on-demand liquidity, and then even ACI Worldwide that can white label this technology. I just want to get you guys thinking. All right, next up. People were talking about this. Who sent this to me? This Quantum Mind. So thank you for sending this over to me. And again, just, sent me a DM just asking me a question about this and just asking if this was a threat. So we have Ivno completes first global token trial on R3's Corda platform. Again, we know Corda and their integration with XRP, and basically just, talking about, is this a threat? So as we can see here, the Ivno Corda trial included 28 organizations, okay? So they have a walled garden type of group, and they created 18 billion denominated trial tokens, which were then transferred in this Ivno network. Again, it's awesome that they can use this, as we can see here, could be used for instant settlement, collateral management. It's awesome. We're going to see tons and tons of these groups. I can already name probably like 5, off the back of my hand right now. These are still walled gardens. This is the same issue, and I'll let Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, address this as well. But again, they're still tokens, so it's relying trust. You still need an intermediary asset, and the belief is with XRP, since it's open sourced, and yes, I know that Ripple holds a lot at the time being, they are growing the ecosystem. We are still early in this game. It's not going to rely on trust. So I actually am going to let Brad Garlinghouse address this, but I just wanted to, kind of show you guys in that regards. Again, just another walled garden. We have JPM coin. There's Libra, even if there's Libra USD, Libra Euro. There's Fnality, that utility settlement token. They still, not every group. Bank of America is not going to work with them. They'll create their own coin. And whether it's fiat or digital in a CBDC or some type of, token, they're still going to require trust. So yes, they could provide settlement for various intra-networks, but we want to create interoperability and an open landscape of financial inclusion and create this type of, not necessarily decentralized entirely, but a more distributed marketplace. So again, this intra-networks, these groups, all these competitors that people see as XRP killers, they're still not solving the issues of counterparty risk, trust, interoperability. There's going to be, higher fees based off of this. It's still just going to create this type of, messy, clunky ecosystem. All right, now listen up to this. This is Status, his website, status.hr. Great clip. And again, Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. Listen up.
I got asked this last week. I was speaking at a Morgan Stanley conference, and somebody asked me, there was this headline, set of headlines about, about the JPM coin. Right. And this guy was from Morgan Stanley who was interviewing me. I said, so is Morgan Stanley going to use the JPM coin? And he's like, well, probably not. And so, well, is Citi going to use the JPM coin? Is B of A going to use the JPM coin? Is PNC? And the answer is no. And so does that mean?
And all these groups, by the way, Bank of America is a partner of RippleNet. PNC is what, the 8th largest bank. They are a partner of RippleNet.
We're all going to have these different coins. And does that mean we're back to where we are, where there's lack of interoperability? So I don't get it. One more quick thing on the JPM coin. So let's think about this. The JPM coin, they announced for institutional customers, if you give them $1 in deposits, they'll give you a JPM coin that you then can move within the JPM ledger.
Walled garden.
Wait a minute, just use the dollar.
Right.
Well, I really don't understand. If you're just moving it within the JPM ledger, and it has to be dollar to dollar, a one-to-one backing, it honestly doesn't actually, I don't understand what problem that solves.
Exactly, guys. And I love this point, and I just wanted to kind of remind everybody of this. Remember, Chris Larson, we've shown clips of him discussing stablecoins, why XRP is not going to be some low-value stablecoin. What's going to be the best option for it is when it becomes one of the biggest options as that reserve currency for liquidity, per se, because there's going to be multiple reserve currencies. You want something that is highly liquid, and again, will be a bridge asset and essentially bridge and be the value that is required within the order books to transfer trillions of dollars a day. And by the math, this is already showing double, triple digits at least. Now, the question is, will that happen? That is where the money lies. That is where the risk is. And that's why I encourage you guys to do your own research. Again, I never invest more than I'm willing to lose, but I just wanted to show you that. And then we're going to finish up with this as this video gets dragged out. I'm going to talk about other points in future videos, but please listen up to this regarding the same type of concept. All right, this is, again, Stephen Bull from the D-Up talking about stablecoins. Brad Garlinghouse, again, 2 minutes, guys.
Wells Fargo.
And again, the best thing you can do during these times of uncertainty when you're focusing only on price and not seeing what's happening behind the scenes and waiting for regulations and liquidity to develop is to research and inform yourself. Inform yourselves. Those that are going to educate themselves, the intelligent ones, are the ones that are going to walk away with the biggest ROI.
Do you foresee them creating the Wells Fargo coin versus the Bank of America coin versus the Citibank coin versus the different banks in Europe, and then them trading in their own cryptos over time, utilizing the Ripple protocol? Or do you foresee XRP being that mode of transportation or transactions?
It's another really good question. And for those that are really interested, I actually did a post on LinkedIn talking about my view of kind of bank coin ideas, because there's been a lot of talk out there. I think there's a lot of problems with bank coin as a premise. The one I'll just spend time on for today, given the limited amount of time, is just will Wells Fargo's coin be adopted by JP Morgan? Will JP Morgan adopt the B of A coin? Will the B of A coin be adopted by the HSBC? It kind of whoa, wait a minute. That's not solving a real problem. You're not going to get banks to all adopt a competitor's coin. And so now we have a whole bunch more coins, and we still need that interoperability, right? And in Ripple and XRP is about that interoperability. So maybe some banks will do coins, and I'm not sure exactly how that'll play out, but I think if people want to read more about my opinion there, they can go to LinkedIn. And
would you say Would you say the same premise with countries creating their own USD coin or the yuan coin, or Japan's doing their own Japan coin? What about that?
And this is important because obviously we have the highest number of countries accumulating more gold than ever. There's, of course, huge issues with the energy sector and oil currently, and tons of volatility to be expected. And also the interoperability piece of trust occurring right now. Remember the concepts from the biggest countries and regulators and central governments saying leveling the playing field, interoperability, teaming up with the private and public sectors, and this can be well beyond finance and also into governments, governmental relations, healthcare, etc. This is going to help the whole chain, even the supply chain.
In the petro in Venezuela.
I'm going to try to do a quick prop here in real time. So, this US dollar here, it has a little token number on there, right? It has a serial number. Dollars are kind of tokenized already, aren't they? Now, should we have a digital database of all of the tokenized dollars? Okay, sure. but I still need to get from dollars to yen. What Ripple's trying to solve is that interoperability, that cross-border piece. So real-time efficient settlement between dollars and yen, where today you're relying upon things like SWIFT, and it's slow, it's expensive, the error rates are really high.
And this is one of the reasons that we need to develop so much liquidity for a bridge asset. Yes, if hypothetically, Swift GPI connected to R3 like our dream scenario, and yes, that is hopium, but it is possible. And if that occurred, that type of volume would actually provide the liquidity itself. And that is something that a lot of people often overlook.
We can bring the nature of how this works into the internet age and now enable real-time transfers.
All right, guys, I feel like I've been ranting enough. I know I want to respect your time because obviously longer videos, a lot of people kind of don't get through them and it loses interest. So I'm going to get going on some other information, see what I can crank out and work and research today. I appreciate it as always. Be sure to share this video around, hit that like button, and I will see you in the next one.